Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our channel Let's Learn Automation, and in this session we are going to see the another approach to implement the abstraction concept, that is one of the object oriented principle in Java. So in a previous session we have seen the abstract class where we have combined some implemented method and unimplemented method, but here we are going to see the next version, that is interface. So interface contain only incomplete method or abstract method. So interface is just like a class or a blueprint of class which contain only abstract or incomplete method. So it's just like a class but not a class. That's why all the method or it is 100% abstract in nature. It is one of the object oriented principle. We have seen this. Then there is no constructor principle is available over here in an interface which is available in a class. So that's why we are seeing the interface, not a class. Then until we complete all the method in interface, it is said to be a abstract class. Like if we have multiple unimplemented method in interface and we are going to implement some of those in our lower classes or subclasses, but until we complete all the method, that class is that class will be abstract class. So we need to implement each and every unimplemented method. Then to achieve interface, Java provide the keyword called as implements. So just like in inheritance, we have used the extend keyword to connect the two classes. Here we use the implements keyword. Then interface methods are by default public and abstract. The method we are going to declare in a interface which are incomplete. So that will be by default public and abstract. Then the variable, in the same way, the variable will be public, starting and final. We are going to see all those things in a program. First let's try to understand the concept. Then interface must be overridden in an implementation class. As we have seen in a previous session that there is an abstract class, then the method which are implemented in a class, that is called as a concrete class. In the same way here we call that class as a implementation class where all the method are implemented. Then interface deal with the client developer or client model. Then it support multiple inheritance. If we have seen the previous session of inheritance, then there is a video of multiple inheritance where we have discussed that this is not possible to implement by using class in Java. That is not allowed, but this can be implemented by using the interface. So we are going to implement this particular thing also in this session. Then it allowed default and static method from Java 8 onward. We will see this later. This will not going to understand now. And this is three important lines, like whenever we connect the two classes, we need to use the extend keyword. We have used this. Then if there are two interface which needs to be connected, then that also connected by using the extend keyword. And when there is a linkage between interface and class, at that time we need to use the implements keyword. So that is the only difference. Like if we have the same entity, then we can use the extend keyword like class and interface. But if we have the different entity, then we need to use the implements keyword. Now let's try to implement all those things, all those concept of interface through program. So here we have already abstraction classes available. So here I will create a new. Now if we need to implement the interface, then interface should be created in the class, in the place of class. So right click on package, click on new and go to interface. Then click on this, give the any name, demo, and this is what our interface. This is not a class, this is the interface. The structure is same like a class but not a class. So I will try to implement this in a single file by using class. So here I will create one class and will name it like program 3. So this is our class, and here I will create the interface and company I can say. So this is the simple interface which does not contain any method. So here I will create one method like void dev. In this way we can declare the method in interface. This is what the declaration, and this is allowed in the interface. If I try to write down the definition, so it gives the error, and what it says, that abstract method do not specify a body. This is what the by default abstract method, as we have discussed in a session or theory, that interface method are by default public and abstract. Okay, by default public and abstract. So from this particular example we can see that interface method are abstract by default. Here we haven't declared this method as abstract, but by just mouse over we come to know that abstract method do not specify a body. So this is incorrect, and this is the abstract method. So we need to remove this, and here I will declare one semicolon. Again I will declare some method void test, then void manage. So these are the three method and called as a unimplemented method or abstract method. By default all these methods are abstract. Now this method needs to be implemented somewhere, so for that I will create a class company I implement. So this is the class com company. So this is our class. Now what we need to do, first of all we need to connect this interface with the class, but for connection we need to use this formula. Like if we have the same entity, then we need to use the extend. If the entities are same, again extend again. If the entities are different, then implement needs to be used. So here I will use implements, because this is class and this is interface and we are going to connect this. So I will use implements, then the name of interface. Now here we can see that there is an error. What it says, that if I mouse over, add unimplemented method. This same error we have seen in a previous session in an abstract class also. So what it will do, if I click on this, all these three method get implemented automatically, or auto generated code will be arrived. So if I click on this, so all this method got implemented, and here I will just add one statement, developer. Here also I will add statement tester and manager. So in this way we have implemented or used the auto generated code. All these methods are implemented over here, and override also came automatically, because all these method implemented method are override to interface method. Now if I need to create, or if I need to execute this, so I need to create the object of this, because we cannot create the object of interface, just like we cannot create the object of abstract class. In the same way, okay, spelling is wrong, compns company. Okay, that's correct now. So we cannot create the object of interface, just like we cannot create the object of abstract class because it contains the unimplemented method. So here we need to create the object of this one, that is the implementation class called as a company imp. So here I will create the object a equals to new, and now I can call the method dev a dot test and a dot ch. And after execution we can see all developer, tester and manager. So in this way we can implement or use the interface. So what it does, so it hide the original thing and show the what is the importance to the user. Now I will try to implement the same program by using the different approach. So in this approach, what I have done, I use the one interface and one implementation class. In the next approach I will use the one interface again and three different implementation class, or three different classes. So let's try that. So here I will create a new class and name it like program 4. And again, we can create all this interface in a different file, this class in a different file, this class in a different file. No problem. There is no difference. Only the file will be different. But this will be much easier if we try to use everything in a single class. So this is program 4. Now here I will create interface IT company, and again I will use the same method, only additional classes will be created. And here I will create class IT company IMP1. Then so in each class I will implement the each method. So this is 2, this is 3, these are the three classes. So what I will do, first of all I will connect these two again by using the implement, because both the entities are different. So I will connect this. And now what approach I'm going to do, that I will implement single method in every each class. So here I will use void dev. Now we are getting the error. What it says, cannot reduce the visibility of the inherited from the company. Or here we should use, okay, no. Yes, what happened over here, that we have used the void dev. So as per the concept, what it says, what it says, that interface method are by default public and abstract. Abstract we have seen, that method is abstract, we have seen in a previous example, but by default it's a public. So what it says, that it says the concept says that interface method are by default public. Now when I try to implement this void dev into the class, so here by default this method is public, but here in a class we haven't written the public keyword. So that's why it gives the error and says that cannot reduce the visibility of the inherited from the IT company, change method visibility to public. It says that we need to use the public over here, because by default this is public, so this should be also public. Now I implement one method over here, so I will copy the same method and try to implement the test over here, test. And here manager, manage. So all methods are implemented. Now what I will do, I connect this interface, or I connect this class to the interface. Now I will connect this particular class with this class. So okay, now we can see, but what we can see over here, that it got the error. Why this particular class got the error? Because only single method is implemented over here. What is expectation from the subclasses or the implementation classes, that all the methods should be implemented, but we have implemented a single method as per our plan, because the rest of the two method we are going to implement, or we have implemented into the another classes. So it shows the error, because all the method is implemented, or expectation is that everything is implemented over here, but as we haven't implemented. And in a theory, what we have seen, that until we complete all method in interface, it is said to be abstract class. So if we haven't implement all the method over here, then it is the abstract class, and we should define it as a abstract class. Then the error will be gone. Now there is no error. Why it is so? Because this is not the complete class, because we haven't implemented all the method, we have implemented a single method. Now this is what interface, then this is abstract class. Now I will connect this class with this class. Now whenever class is going to connect it, we need to use the extend keyword. And here I will connect this class with this. So again error arrived because from all this method, one method is implemented over here, then test method is implemented over here, but now one method remain, this manage method remain. So now this class is also abstract class. If we implemented both this method, then there is no problem, but we haven't, like here, if I implemented this over here, then that error will be gone. Now there is no error. But what's our plan? That we are going to implement single method. So I will delete this. Now we got the error. So this is also abstract class. This is interface. This is abstract class which contain one implemented method, and this abstract class which also contain one unimplemented method. So I will declare it as a abstract class. Now the error will be gone. And finally, I will connect this class with the this class. Now there is no error because all the method are implemented. Now what can I do? I cannot create the object of interface. I cannot create the object of abstract class. Even I cannot create the object of this class because this is also abstract class. So I need to create the object of this class because this is the final implementation class. So here I will create x equals to new x dot dev x dot test and x dot manage. Now if I execute, I'm getting dev, tester and manager, everything. So in this way we can implement the interface in a single class, or we can implement all the interface method in a single class. Even we can implement the single method into different classes. The same the two approach we can use. Now uh, now what we can do, like here we have used a single interface and one implementation class. Here we have used one single interface and abstract class, and finally implementation class. Now I will try to use some different approach. So for example, again we'll take another example, program 5, and here I will create interface. So interface, we can say that in fee, this is the interface, and which contain method void dev, again the same method. Now I will use interface tcs, and here I will use one unimplemented method test. Okay, so this is what one interface, and we got the actually two interface. Now what I will do, I will connect these two interface like infi and this. So whenever we need to connect the same entity again, so if I move to our this one, so interface extend needs to be used. So here I will use extends infi. So in this way we can connect the two interfaces. Now we need to implement these classes, or we need to implement this method. So for that I will use class it implement. Okay, yes. So now what I will do, I will connect this particular class with the interface. So here I need to use the, I can't use extend because these are the two different entity, interface and class. So here I need to use the implements and tcs. Now I got the error. Why? Because this method is not implemented. So the catch is over is like there is one method dev, which is not implemented because it belongs to the interface. There is one more method called test, which is also not implemented because it is the part of TCS interface. Now if I mouse over and add, if I click on this method, then both the method will get implemented. You can see that dev and test method of one of the from infi and one of the from test both got implemented. So in this way we can use the interface or multiple interface. So here I will use like dev, and here test. So this is one interface, this is second interface which is connected to the first interface, and this is what our implementation class where both the method or both the interface method got implemented automatically or by auto generated code. And now I need to create the object of this class to run this methods, like x equals to new, then x dot dev and x dot test. So we got the execution of both the things like TCS and Infosys. Now what what I have said in this particular thing, that interface support multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance means what? There will be a two parent and single child. So we'll try to implement this by using the interface. So for that I will create one more class and we'll name it like program 6. Here I will create one interface, interface parent 1 and interface parent 2, and it will have one common method like void show, and it will also have one common method. We can use the common method. So what it says, the parent one is already defined. Okay, parent two is okay. Let's try to define double one, double two. Okay, so parent double one, parent double two. Maybe this classes or interface already defined, so that's why we got the error. So this is parent and this is parent 1 and parent 2. Now both are interface, and finally I will create one class child 3 I can say, and here I need to connect with these two because we are going to implement the multiple inheritance where there will be a two super classes, parent 1 and parent 2, which is connected to the child. So here, as we know that this is the interface and this is class, so two different entity. So here I need to use the implements, and I will use parent, just copy this and comma parent 2. Okay, so I just connected both the but the both the with the both the interface we can say, but now it's showing the error because that method is not implemented yet. So we can implement this method like, we'll write down same statement, show method. So in this way we can implement the multiple inheritance. This is one parent, this is second parent, and this is the common child, and this is what the multiple inheritance. And now I can create the object of this class, new, and red dot show. So there will be no problem. But remember one thing, that okay, show method, This can be done only with the interface. We cannot do the same thing with the class, because if we try to do with the class, then it will gives the error of ambiguity issue will be there, and we are not able to implement that thing. So multiple inheritance can be implemented by using interface, not by the class. So that is what the important thing. Now let's try to take one more example, probably the last one, and here we'll try to implement or try to understand what is this. It allowed the default and static method from Java onward. What is that? So for that I will create one more class and will name it like program 7. Okay, so here I will create interface sample. This is what the interface, and now here I will define one variable, like any variable a equal to 20 for example, and here I will define one method like void m1, I can say. This is what the unimplemented method. Then void, or I can use default void m2, and here I can say default method, and again static void m3. So this is default method m2, I can say, and this is static method m3. So until now what we have seen, that we cannot implement or we cannot use the method definition over in our interface, but what it says, it allow or interface allow default and static method from Java 8 onward. This can be the one of the important interview question, that what changes in interface after Java 8 version. So after Java 8 it allow the default and static method to be implemented. So until now what we have seen, that we cannot implement or we cannot write the definition of the method in interface, but here we can say that we can use the default and static method which contain the definition too. So that is what one of the important thing. Now this is what the interface. Now I will create one implementation class sample. Okay, this should be capital. Naming convention should be properly used. Sample implement. So this is the class, and now I will connect with the interface. So here, as this is unimplemented method, so this will be, we can say that this will get implemented by using auto generated code or override, and here I can write down method m1. So in this program what we have done, I have used the unimplemented method m1, which is implemented in a implementation class. Then the default and static method we can use, or we can write down the definition of that. That is what the important. Now let's try to do one more thing. Here I define one variable a equal to 20, and what it says, the theory says that uh, interface variable are by default public, static and final. By default public, static and final. So here if I try to change, final means what, we cannot change the value of final variable, it's like a constant. So if I try to change the value of a equals to 20, so sorry, not 20 is already there, so it gives the error. And if I try to see this, the final field sample a cannot be assigned, means this is the final variable, or we can say that final. So that's why we cannot change the value of this variable again. Normally if I do the same thing here, Like here we can say that this is the class, and if I define b equal to 20, and now here I can use b equal to 200. Why it is so? Because this is the class. By default, class do not have any control on the variable, but by default in the interface, by default this variable is final and static. So that's why the value of this variable we cannot change the value of this variable, but here we can change because this is the class and this is the interface. So this is not allowed. Let's comment it. We can say that not allowed. And one more thing, that it is static too. Now let's see why this is static, how we can say that this is the static, or how we can prove that. Now for example, this is our class, and now what I will do, I will just first of all I'll try to call all this method. So for that I will create the object of this class. Let's make some space. Y equals to new, and y dot m1, then y dot uh, m2, and y dot m3. If I try to use, it gives the error. The method is undefined with the type sample undefined. Okay, so let's write this later. So we can call this method. Now if I try to use this variable, okay, final variable here as so, like y dot, I think a. So here we can see that it gives the warning. What it says, the static field sample a should be accessed in a static way. Means this is not the right approach to use. If we execute, then we are getting the 20 value, there is no problem. But the thing is, what it gives the warning that the static field sample a, or this variable a, should be accessed in a static way. Static way means what? Here we need to use the class name like sample imp, to use the like this, then there will be no warning. So in this way we can understand that this a, or this is what the final and static too. So whatever the variable that are available here, these are the final and static. Now let's try to do with m3. What m3 having problem? M3, so sample, no, m3, void m3, void abstraction. How we can use this now? Defined, let's make it public. And now still not accessible, it's undefined by the type sample. Quick fixes m1, m2, m3 is undefined for the sample types. Undefined, why it is undefined? Public static void m3. This is the interface, we cannot use directly. So this is sample important y, y dot, y dot m3, it is not accessible. The method m3 is undefined for the type sample imp. It is undefined for this. How we can access this? Okay, let's start to sample. The undefined for the type sample, sample. Okay, now we can access this thing. Okay, so what we have done, we try to access this too. So this is not accessible by the object, using the object or the class name, but we can access by using the interface name dot m3. So now this is accessible, and if we try to execute this, then we are getting the everything. So in this way we have implemented all the concepts which are present over here. So interface is what? Blueprint of class, just like a class. It contains the 100% abstract nature. The method are by default incomplete and abstract. Then no constructor. Then we have seen this one too, that until we complete all the method, then that class is the abstract class. Implements we use, then we have proved that by default the method are public and abstract, and by default the variable are public, static and final. And in this way also we have implement the interface, sorry, multiple inheritance, and how we can use the default and static method. So this is the example where we have implemented, where we have proved final variable are final and static, also static and default method, how to execute those. Here we have seen like how we can implement the multiple inheritance by using the interface, not the class, that is not allowed. And here we have used the two interface, one interface connected with the another one, and that interface furtherly connected with the class. So in this way we have seen the interface. Thank you.